Well, it says that I've gone live, and it also says that I've got for those of you who are interested, a 5-second delay factor on my end. So just please bear with me. All right. Those of you who are attending the DIY fermentation mid-month, midweek, midday live stream, welcome. The mid-month live streams are still basically an experiment. I think I'm going to keep it, but I'm still trying to find an appropriate day and time in which to have the live streams. I guess it pretty much depends on the number of people who drop in. I'm expecting a very low turnout for this particular live stream, so it will probably be a very short one. But nonetheless, for those of you who are on a continent other than the North American continent, I'm catching you guys at a reasonable hour, I hope. And again, welcome. If you are there, you might want to chime in. Just let me know. Quick little wave, so that I know that you're here. And while everyone is beginning to show up, let's see, the purpose of DIY fermentation. I started DIY fermentation about a year and a half ago, when I was first learning how to start making my own wine. Basically, your classic Welsh grape juice wine made in the 2-quart container and letting it ferment for about a good 4 to 6 weeks and cracking that bad boy open and pouring a glass and saying, yeah, I made wine. Well, it's with that in mind. There were a lot of things that I had to learn that I found it kind of difficult to learn. Such as, well, what kind of wine yeast should I get? How long should I let it ferment? Should I use cabinet tablets and yeast energizers and all of that? Well, I decided that a lot of that really isn't necessary. It's fine if you want to take your winemaking hobby in that direction, but this channel is designed for the complete novice who wants to learn how to make country-style wines in a completely simplistic way. The channel is pretty much going to stay at that level. If there are comments that come in on any of the videos that I have out there that are of a more advanced level, I probably will not answer those questions. I will let other channel members chime in on that because I want to keep things at a very simple level. This is not a technical winemaking channel. Just want that made clear on the onset. A couple of other things. Oh, I've got a lot of people beginning to show up. I'm kind of wondering if you guys are saying hello to me or hello to Nona. I might want to talk about that later on. A couple of things. One, I believe I fixed the audio and video issues that I had certainly during that last video on elderflower mead. Found out what I was doing wrong. I had to watch a couple of YouTube videos to figure out what was going on. And the very first setting that they pretty much all were telling you to set was one setting that I was setting in the opposite direction, which was causing the lag. So if the video quality looks good, if I can weave back and forth, and everything is pretty much without a blur, then I'm pretty much on the right track. I'm going to stop for just a second here because I want to make sure I'm not missing anyone here. Let's see, Valerie, welcome. Brad, welcome. Chloe, welcome. No. Aren't you at work? Mongoose Mom 1 had to wait for the ad to finish. What? Oh, that's right. My channel is monetized. Sorry about that. Hector. Thank you very much for that. Hello from Southeast Arizona. That would be from Sue, who's also a member. Thank you very much for that, helping support the channel. It does help support this channel, believe me. John, thank you for showing up. No. Yeah. Audio sounds great. Well, thank you very much. Makita, hello. Lucy, sure. Okay. Everything is great and everything is great. Okay. So I fixed it. Finally. So I shouldn't have any more issues with that. After that last video, I was almost tempted to start using my cell phone camera again, but don't need to do that. Let's see. Other issues, not issues per se. Already talked about the mid-month, midweek. It might be mid-month. It might go back to being on a Saturday. but probably at the 3 o'clock time slot, just to make sure that everybody is, either at home or getting ready to head on out, to give them an opportunity to chime in without being late in the afternoon. Let's see. Subscriber counts. The channel now has over 4,800 plus subscribers. Thank you all very much for clicking that subscribe button. For those of you who haven't, it's about time. Go ahead and click on that button. Let me know that I'm appreciated. Super chats, super stickers are also available, as is donations to the channel's PayPal account. And speaking of the channel's account, the channel is now in the process of becoming an LLC. Submitted the paperwork earlier this week, so that process is in the works. Once that's done, I can submit the paperwork to become to a doing business as or an assumed name. Once that's done, I can get a bank account. When that's done, I can get a tax ID number. When that's done, basically, it's all about running a business, which is what running a YouTube channel is. Let's see, Lana, hello from Scotland. All right, I think you're the first one we've had from Scotland. We've had a few from the other side of the water, but I'm glad you can make it. Let's see, I'm getting ahead of myself. There were a couple of things that I wanted to bring up, and let's see if I can do this now. Yes, new members. We've had 3 new members since my last video. I want to say thank you to hello to Dean. Ted, how did I get that wrong? That is Ted Wagner. Sorry about that. Will be corrected in the upcoming video, which is a making carrot wine video, where I've got that name corrected. And John Constantine. This was kind of like a last minute add-in. So Ted, forgive me, but you became a member as well. Appreciate that. There will be an advanced viewing of the next upcoming video. Probably will get the first day's shooting of that uploaded for members today. I'm not going to really get a chance to finish that particular video until probably tomorrow. But what I generally tend to do, since you are now a new member, is if I'm making a video that I can't finish in a day, I'll take the pretty much raw version of that video and upload that and let you know that this is an incomplete video. So you can get an idea of what I'm doing on a kind of like a day-by-day basis. I don't do it on a daily basis. You'll get that initial video and then you'll get the final product. And I try and let the members have the final product for at least 2 days-ish before I make it a public video. It might be a little tight this time, but that's pretty much the concept that I have for members on the community page. Let's see. Let me get back to here. And, someone came up with a question, wanted to know what the current state of my location where I'm storing all of my carboys. And I took a photo of that, and it currently looks something similar to this. No, actually, this is what was in it, because there just wasn't enough room to get a good photograph of it. But basically, these are all the current batches that I've got that are in various stages of secondary bulk aging, basically. Not including the wines that have already been bottled, of which I think I've got about 5 gallons that are in bottles that are bottle aging, that I really need to start drinking so I can free those bottles up. But basically, this is what things look like so far. I had to pull them out of the closet anyway, because after I took this photo, I started racking at least 5 of these that really needed to be racked. One actually bottled, but that's where things stand currently. And let me get back to this screen here. Let's see. One other thing that I have on my to-do list, and that is the current status of the fan favorite poll that I started conducting. I've narrowed it down, or currently there are 5 top suggestions. And there we go. This is not in order of preference. This is just, the first top 5 that I found. One is a mead with orange zest. Awfully close to the orange mead that I made, but I'll try it with a zest if that comes up number 1. Wine made with dried fruit. That's kind of tricky because most dried fruits are have preservatives on them. I think there's one or two that are not that I can use. The other is a maple syrup mead, a pineapple beer, and an apple pie mead. Those are the current top 5. The polling is still ongoing. I will probably bring that one to an end probably at the end of this week. I'll then take whatever current top 5 videos requests that are out there, and I'll create a separate poll for that, and then I'll let that run probably for 2 weeks ish, and then the winner of that poll will be the batch of wine that I'll probably end up doing next. All right, let me get back to YouTube so I can find out what I'm missing here. All right. Congratulations. Thank you, Brad Palmer. Did I hear you say carrot wine? Yep, that's right. Carrot wine kept coming up during a lot of my live streams. So in order to get it out of the way, so that I don't have to hear it anymore, which is probably not what's going to happen. It'll probably end up being like that coconut wine that I did during a live stream, where every live stream since, what's the coconut wine doing? How does it taste? I have no idea. It's not reached that point yet. But yep, currently in the process. I did half of the shooting already. I probably will get to the point where I'm going to chop everything up and put them in a pot. And since the pot has come down to room temperature, let it come down to room temperature while I'm uploading the current video, and then finish it up tomorrow. See, I am following you from Cameroon. Wow, all right. And your fermentations, I apply them, but would like to know how to clarify with wine how much bentonite. No, we don't use bentonite over here. Okay, we don't use any fining agents at all. We don't use additives. There's only one additive that I will use from time to time because it does help with the pectin. That a lot of some of the fruit that I use, carrots too now, will develop, and that helps speed up the clearing process just for that. But as far as clearing up your wines in general, time is your best ally there. You just have to wait it out. You have to wait it out anyway, because it takes time for the wine to become, develop full flavors. So again, this is not, like I said before, a technical wine channel. You're not going to see me using bentonite, sparkaloid, again, the whole 9 yards of additives. This is very, very simple winemaking. All right. For those of you on the Arabic countries, YouTube is not automatically translating. It's okay. And when I do get the comments, I do go through Google Translate to get to do the translations, and then translate a reply, just to let you know. Hector, I'm new at this. What is the difference between mead and wine? Mead is made with honey. Wine is made with sugar. There you go. Now you know. Lama, dying to try cherry wine. The cherry wines that I've made so far, in fact, this one's coming up for a taste test for next week, and I know you're not going to be able to see it, is a dark cherry wine that I made, which is actually quite good. The 6-month tasting of this was actually quite good. I'm looking forward to the 12-month tasting, which is actually this month. So this will be next week for the tasting of that. I made a dark cherry mead, and those have been the only 2 cherry wines that I've done. I'm tempted to do a tart cherry wine or mead. I know if it's a mead, it's going to become what they call Viking's blood. As wine, I think it's just going to be a cherry wine. But there you go with that. Let's see. Legendary Jews in the house. All right. Started a lemon and lime wine last night as a result of your recent taste testing. Recent tasting video. Did I do the tasting on that lemon lime? I know I bottled it. Can't remember if I did a tasting on that or not. I think I did. I'm forgetting things these days. Let's see. Cherry is a good dried fruit to use for wine. It depends on whether or not they put preservatives on them or not, and if there is a viable way in which I can remove preservatives. Because presently I use fresh fruit I'll use frozen fruit, and I'll use fruit juices. Sometimes roots, like that beetroot and those carrots. Uh, uh, Branching out a little bit, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call the kombucha. It was tasty. I liked it. I probably will make some more because I kept my scobies alive. I think they're still alive. So I probably will make some more of that over the summer. Watermelon wine is on the content calendar. It is something that I'm going to make. Watermelons are beginning to show up now in the grocery stores. Not the big long ones, but more like they started with the little round ones, and now they're kind of like the little oval ones are showing up. But the big long ones, those aren't in yet, and I'm waiting for those to show up in the grocery store, and then I'll buy a couple of those, and yeah, I'll give it a shot. Couldn't hurt. Holistic herbalist, I would like to try. I want the same thing. Okay, caught up on comments. Surprisingly, on my board, it's showing that I've got 17 concurrent viewers, which is almost what I get during a normal live stream, which is beginning to crop up. 18 now. So I guess you guys are really enjoying this. I will say, since No is becoming something of a fan favorite, the intent, again, with No was, and I mentioned this during the last live stream, was to basically just get her in from time to time, basically to show her how the whole process works, to get her involved to an extent. I think the last effort that you saw, again, if you watched it, was the elderflower mead. Again, you're going to see her when I do the next live stream. And then depending on how she feels about coming in and doing more videos. She was looking at some of the statistics for the elderflower mead video last night. It came in, YouTube ranks them from your top 10 videos during the first 24 hours. And that particular video came in at number 1. And usually off on the side, there's like a little bit of explosive fireworks, confetti type fireworks. It's a cheap thrill, but you know, when you get a number 1 video like that, it works. So she was pleased about that. So I think she might be back for hopefully many more of these. Again, she was during that last video. She is thinking about starting her own bakery business. So whenever, wherever, I'll give her shout outs based on that. Probably will have pictures during the next live stream of some of her earlier creations before she decided to go become serious. In fact, we were both looking at the paperwork for registering a trademark and creating an LLC and the doing business as paperwork and all of that. Earlier this week, that's when I decided to bite the bullet. That was a $128 bullet, but just for that one piece of paperwork for the LLC, to go ahead and get it done and get it over with and becoming a bit more official, as it were. Let's see. No, thank you. Steven, blueberry season's coming up near me. Fixing up a wine as soon as you have any preference on maceration versus crushing the berries. I actually don't really have any preference with regards to maceration or any other method of extracting the juice. As a berry, generally I'll do a maceration if time permits, just because it's kind of a cool thing to see, you know, over time. It takes time, but it's kind of a cool thing to see that you can extract juices without a lot of the mashing and grinding and blending or whatever. So when time permits and I'm in no great hurry, then yeah, maceration is probably the one that I generally will tend to use, but it's, you know, I'm open to it. It's no one thing that I'm fixed on doing. Cheap thrills are the best. Hope that you will add spice to your apple pie mead if one is selected. Only if you help participate, you can add the spice. Oh, that reminds me. It's in the kitchen and I'm not going to go get it. I'm going to do it in the next live stream. Because of that last video, the elderflower mead video, where we kind of joked around about the use of a food scale in the kitchen, had to break down, and we went out and I bought one. Okay, so you'll probably start seeing that more often. You'll probably start seeing more accurate metric measurements and all of that in my ingredients list, which are usually in the description section below most of my videos, along with a whole host of other things, such as links to the playlist, which describes all of the other steps in the process of making wine that you don't see in the initial videos, the rackings, the bottlings, all of that. So if you're really new to this channel and you're seeing me make a batch of wine and you're saying that it's now in primary, we're just going to leave it there for the next 5 to 7 days before racking it in the secondary. Well, there's a whole process that follows after that. It's all repetitive, and it makes no point putting it in each and every video because it would take forever to do a video. So just letting you know, community section in the channel page, playlist section, winemaking operations, you'll find all of those videos there listed for you to peruse. John, is it ever too early to back sweeten? Well, yeah. Did a video on that, but I'll probably summarize by simply saying this. Well, I mean, you're not going to start back sweetening while it's actively fermenting. And even when your fermentation appears to have stopped and you've done a hydrometer reading and it comes in at 0.990 and you're thinking, okay, cool, everything's done. So you start adding sugar and the next thing you know, fermentation is restarted and so on and so forth. No, you really do have to wait until fermentation is finally and completely done. If you start back sweetening early, or during the process of what I used to do of step back sweetening, where you start adding sugar, see if fermentation restarts. If it does, wait till it finishes, then add some more sugar, see if it restarts. And if it doesn't, then you're fine. You can add whatever you want after that. That's the process I had been using. But since I did that pasteurization video, which has its pros and cons, some people think it detracts from the flavor, but from my point of view, it makes a safer end product. It just basically it kills all yeast. It kills the vast majority of bacteria that might have survived in the alcoholic environment. The only thing it doesn't do is that it doesn't stop the oxidation of wine that might occur over time, which is one of the reasons why they're using cabinet tablets or sulfites at the end of their process for people who make wine that way. Let's see. I noticed you have several. Oh, let me back up here. I don't want to miss anybody. A few people. John, is it ever? I did that one. Matt, what is your most successful mead? Matt, I really can't tell you yet because only one mead has made it. None of them have made the 1 year mark. I think when I did I tasted my first mead. I think that was either at the 6th or the 8th month mark. No, that was 8 months that I tasted that one. It wasn't quite done. Kind of found out after the fact that some meads like that basically take more than at least 12 months, sometimes more. So the jury is still out on that. I've got several meads that are currently in the works, and I'm probably going to forget a few, but I've got my first mead, which is just a basic mead. I've got a lemon mead. I've got an orange mead. I've got a strawberry mead. I've got that elderflower mead. There's probably one more back there, but I forget. So I really don't know what they taste like at this point in time. Let's see. Really love experimenting that this channel does. It's only an experiment that these are our first time efforts. They're not experimentations in terms of adding a lot of exotic ingredients per se. Basically, it's just winemaking that was done for nearly 10,000 years. I mean, this is your basic winemaking. Brad, I wish my fermentation would restart. Well, Brad, a couple of ways you can do, a couple of things you can do. If your fermentation is stopped, I mean, you've taken a hydrometer reading and it is not where it's supposed to be, like 0.990 or anywhere near that range. Depending on the yeast that you used, you can use a stronger variant of yeast. That will generally do it. You can add more yeast of what you got. That sometimes will work. Some fermentations are just slow to start. Actually, I think that lemon wine fermentation was kind of slow to start. I mean, some wines won't have, and this is what we did this like a week ago. No, this was done almost a week ago. Won't have this level of activity happening in your airlock. I mean, sometimes it's a really, really slow process. Sometimes the process is that quick. So again, your hydrometer reading is your friend. That will let you know if you've got a stuck fermentation. Because I now get the variety packs of yeast, and I'm a Red Star man, I guess I can say. If I did have a stuck fermentation one, I'll make a video of it. And my solution to that would be to add a stronger variant or a yeast that has a higher alcoholic tolerance as a way of kickstarting the yeast. It might have been that somehow your yeast or your fruit had preservatives in it that might be stalling the process. I mean, there are a number of reasons why your wine just isn't doing what it should do. But again, just on the fly, those would be some of the ideas off the top of my head. Yes, I thought somebody. Yep. Can I pause this? Justin 42. I noticed you have several brews doing secondary in plastic water bottles. Since you do secondary for about half a year, at least, are you worried about the alcohol dissolving some of the plastic? No, I am not at all. And generally, because of the increasing number of carboys that I get, the amount of time that they're spending in the plastic containers, these are, I mean, they're food grade containers, so I'm not really concerned about that. And we're talking about very low alcoholic contents at best. I mean, it's not like I'm storing scotch or anything like that in plastic. Yuck. So no, I'm not concerned at all. They'll sit in those containers at 3 months at best before they're bottled. Yeah, that's about the average. So I'm not too concerned. And I think I'm within 4 or 5 carboys away from being able to do away with the plastic entirely. And that's what I'm working at. But again, got to remember the concept of this channel. Trying to do things on a shoestring budget. You use what you got and make it work. Yeah, that's yeah. Lana, that rocket fuel, it happens. It can happen. It was definitely happening a lot when I was doing step back sweetening, which is why I'm now pasteurizing all of my stuff as a way of getting around that. It can happen, but hey, I kind of played it down during the last live stream. But why are you making wine? Okay, if you wanted something that was sweet, you'd go to the store and you'd go buy a pop, okay? Or maybe just buy some fruit juice and call it a day. You're making wine because it's got alcohol in it. I mean, let's just be honest, okay? So if it comes out from time to time like rocket fuel, there are just some times when, that's okay. But I'm just saying, Gifford to me uses 50. We're not going to get that technical on this channel. Seriously, we're not. Yeah, we're not going to get that technical. That would be a step up. There are technical winemaking channels out there that are really fixated on that sort of thing. I'm not. Mead made with honey, wine made with sugar. Keep it simple. People are happy. When will you be tasting the coffee wine? Well, I just made it. People, winemaking is a time-consuming endeavor. I mean, we're talking months. It'll be at least 6 months if I'm lucky before I can. I wouldn't even say 6 months anymore because my wines are sitting in carboys a lot longer than that these days. you're talking about a year-long project for these wines. You can drink them earlier. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It might not be clear, but there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just yeast being held in suspension for the most part. But again, making the wines and tasting the wine. You'll see a tasting video when the wine is come clear. It's been bottled and all of that. But that coffee wine, that's several months away. Let's see. Lana started fermentation in there. Okay, did that. Hector, did that one? Actually, not going into that. Matt, awesome addition with No. Love the channel. I'm sure she thanks you. Thank you for lowering the channel. Brad, thanks. I managed to get my mead fermentation stuck. Even thinking of using a yeast nutrient. Depends on how much wine you're making. If it's a 1 gallon batch and you're really determined on trying to save it, then a yeast nutrient or a yeast energizer, I'm not going to say not do it. If that's what you need to do for a 1 gallon batch, just start over and do it again. If you've got like a 5 or 6 gallon batch, yeah, I would probably take whatever steps are required to see if I can save, that expenditure of money to get that wine going again. My suggestion probably would be, if you're going to go out and buy yeast nutrients, buy a more potent grade of yeast as a first start. And if that doesn't do it for you, go ahead and energize that bad boy or give it some more nutrients. So far, I have not had that problem. Hi from the UK, Michelle. Well, Michelle, starting this channel at 3 o'clock is one of the reasons why I decided to, you guys being over there in the UK and those European countries and parts east, it's why I'm doing the 3 o'clock time slot. I don't think it's going to be a midweek endeavor next week or next month. It'll probably be, I'll end up doing 2 live streams. First of the month for the main live stream where the camera is facing that way, where you've got my apartment view. And then the mid-month live streams, the second or third week, depending, where things are a bit easier to set up. But I think it's going to become a permanent fixture. Let's see. Hank's hating. If you get... Depends on where your fermentation stopped at, Brad. I mean, again, after the first, after the first 7 days, what do they say? 70% of the alcohol your wine is capable of producing has been produced. I mean, it's not a total loss. I mean, there's some kick to what you've made. Organic apple juice. Comes in 1 gallon glass containers, which can be recycled into 1 gallon glass carboys. I got 2 of those, working on the first one now. So when that second one is completed, that's 2 less plastic containers that you'll see next time I do a display. Doesn't hurt to recycle. Old Time Engineer. No, is the bread all... No, I still have a little bit left. But she went home with a large chunk of it. Mongo's Mom 1. I got scared and spent a whole on some potassium sulfite. Well, I mean, if you look at the first dozen or so of my videos, I mean, I was using cabinet tablets because that's what I thought you were supposed to use. I mean, it was like, okay, you're going to make wine, then you need to use at least cabinet tablets to kill off the wild yeast and the bacteria on your fruit, and then you need it to use it when you rack, and then you need to use it when you bottle. I mean, thing about sulfites is that when I'm buying store-bought wine, sulfites will give me a headache, especially with red wines. I don't have that issue with any of the wines that I make or have made so far, and some of those have peaked over 20% APP. Black cherry wine was one. I have 5 gallon batch of peach and black cherry. Peach and black cherry, or peach a 5-gallon batch of peach and a 5-gallon batch of black cherry. Now I can see that black cherry. My fermenter will hold up to 3 gallons worth. So I think the next time I make my black cherry, that's going to be a 3-gallon batch. I gotta use 3 cardboards for that. Anyway, yeah, the thing about doing the one, this is a 4-liter container, by the way. The thing about doing the 4-liter and the 1-gallon batches is that you get a chance to find out what you like and what you don't like, the hits and the misses. And if you've got a hit that you really do enjoy, then those are the ones you can then focus on making larger batches, making improvements to the recipe, you know, tweaking it a little bit more here and there. But the ones that don't work, you don't have to worry about it because you're not making that no more. So small batch, no harm done. I'm going to get 5 bottles out of this at the end of the process. So that's how that works. Let's see. No, I have not seen anything turn into vinegar at all. I think you really have to kind of like work at it to turn it into vinegar. As long as you start out with properly sanitizing all of your tools, your carboys and all of the fermenters and all of that, you've given yourself a really good leg up about to prevent that from happening. Same thing with your rackings. As long as everything's been properly sanitized, you've greatly reduced the amount of possibly turning your wine into something that ain't wine. But no, hasn't happened yet. I don't know if I want to put that on my content calendar of trying to make vinegar on purpose. It's got to be a slow week, certainly after I come back from my break. 2 5-gallon batches of each. 5 gallons, that's 25 bottles each. There you go. Must be nice. How is the hibiscus? I'm not getting up, guys, not this time. I might get up during the first of the month live streams, but I'm not leaving this chair. It's doing quite well. It was one of the ones that I racked last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago. It is clear. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could bottle it, but there's no rush to doing it. At this point in time, I'll give it another month or two just to make sure that everything is settled out and is as clear as it's going to get. And I won't know that until you look at it and see if there's any sediment at the bottom. If there is none, then you're good. But again, since I'm no longer doing the step back sweetening, I'm no longer concerned about the amount of time you add on by doing the step back sweetening method. Have you dealt with overflow through primary into cardboard? Yep. This was the latest example. Probably hard to see it on your end, but basically the foam went up. Actually, it went on through. I caught it, as it was, beginning to dribble down the airlock and pour it off. Yeah, because I had it up to about here. And then after I saw it was the foaming was still pretty active. I poured some off into a baggie that I was using because I had a little bit left extra. And with me, if I had a little bit left extra at the end of primary, I'll put it in a bag and freeze it so that when I do subsequent rackings, all I have to do is just thaw it out and add it in and avoid the use of having to use water or some other whatever else that isn't the wine in question. So I just simply added it to that bag and froze it. So when I do a rack, I'm good. But yeah, it happens. You really don't know from wine to wine. You do after it happens that, certain wines are going to do it, but you really don't know until you've done it and seen it happening. So I know the next time I make an elderflower mead, to have plenty of headspace, at least during that first rack. Subsequent racks, then yeah, I'll bring it up to a normal level. Let's see. No, okay, it's that no. I'm working on the correct wheat recipe. I tried to get No to do a cooking YouTube channel. I mean, it's easy. No, it's not. I was about to say it's easy for me because I'm retired, but no, it's not. This is a full-time job. it's a 7-day-a-week operation. uh, it does require a little bit of time, so she probably at that point in time just didn't have the time to do it. But when she retires or gets to that point where she's getting close to retiring, then yeah, for her bakery is going to be the thing. I think it would be a great addition if she would start a YouTube channel. I mean, if she's already comfortable with doing that type of primarily, I guess it's French style baking, then yeah, having a compliment YouTube channel would be ideal. But let's see. I have made strawberry, grape, blueberry, and I've been drinking it. Well, that's kind of the point. If it's drinkable, it's good. Let me see. YouTube food channels are actually pretty popular. They generally do tend to become monetized or meet the monetization requirements fairly quickly. My channel took 9 months to get from 0 to meeting all of the requirements for monetization. I mean, YouTube doesn't pay like a whole lot. I mean, in terms of ads, especially not early on. But I mean, there is money there. It's an addition. It's not quit your job type money to become a full-time YouTuber by any means. I don't have to worry about not being able to put food on the table. But yeah, I digress. I did during one of my live streams, I did something on what it was like to run a YouTube channel for 1 year. I might do something along those lines when I do the. I want to do a video or a live. Probably will be a live stream when I complete my first 100 videos, and this would be both public and private videos on this channel. I'm at 95, I think, right now. So sometime fairly soon. I don't want to rush it during the next 2 weeks, but if I can get it done during the next 2 weeks in that first of the month live stream, yeah, 100 video, it's not gonna be like a party or anything like that. And I might try something, but yeah, okay, good luck with that. All right. Oh, it's a pretty good crowd for middle of the day live stream. It came up during the last live stream whether or not I would do this on a weekly basis, and the answer to that question is hell no. Too much work. As it is now, I mean, like I said, most of this morning was spent getting that cured wine started. Now I'm doing a live stream. After the live stream, I got to go back and start work again on that cured wine issue, so cured wine project. So no, it's like a full-time job. What liquid do you put in your airlocks? Water. I've seen where people have used Star San or whatever sanitizer that you're using, but I've also seen airlocks go reverse the flow from time to time, occasionally. If it's going to do something like that, I'd rather have it something that I know is safer, like water, than the sanitizers, One Step or Star San or any of the others that are out there. Water is fine. I mean, the whole purpose of the airlock is A, let the CO2 escape, and B, keep bugs from getting in. That's all that's required. And for whatever reason, these holes are like tiny little pinholes on the cap. I've seen little gnats somehow work their way in, and I've seen their little carcasses down at the bottom of the loop. And I keep wondering, how the hell did they get in there? But it works. It does as advertised. Let's see. I am 75 years young. Dang, you got me beat by nearly a decade, by more than a decade. But and got nothing better to do. Yeah, that's what I thought when I retired. Got nothing better to do. Sitting around watching TV, playing video games all day. Those were the days. So yeah, starting this channel was it. It seemed like a simple enough thing to do. I mean, I didn't know it was going to become like a business. But during the age of COVID, it basically meant that instead of finding some little part-time job just to fill the time, I've got this, which occupies all my time. But as long as you guys enjoy it, hey, that's all that really matters. That and those YouTube checks. But hey, let's see. Is there a risk of restarting fermentation when you add to your reserve? Not really. I mean, not really, because at the point where you're adding and when you're doing your initial fermentation, yeah, and you're adding about this much to top it off, basically, you're not really concerned about restarting fermentation because, I mean, your wine is still fermenting. I mean, it is, at least probably for the next rack or two, most definitely. So, yeah, you're adding more of a, I don't want to use the word sediment, it's least, but sediment comes to mind. When you're adding more yeast, I mean, yeah, it's going to cloud up a little bit more, but it's not clear at that point anyway. And by the time you get down to your third or fourth racks, where you're basically adding like a quarter of a cup, half a cup to top it off, from that racking operation, it's negligible. I mean, you're not using the frozen stuff at that point. I mean, at that point, really, you use water or grape juice or white wine or whatever you want to use to fill the difference. You're not going to restart fermentation, and especially if you're planning on pasteurizing your wine, you're not concerned about restarting fermentation because you're going to bring that process to a stop. Yep, make wine and mead, drink it. Jesslyn, 42. You've kept your, I'm assuming that your top 5 fan favorites on the screen for quite a while. And you know what? Is it still on there? Duh. See, y'all have to point these things out. Because if you don't point them out, I'm not going to notice. There are actually several screens that I'm oops, I didn't mean to close those. There are several screens that I'm looking at on my monitor. And when I'm starting to talk and I'm reading the comments, I'm actually not seeing what's actually going out live. Thank you for bringing that out. Oh, that's another thing. Well, first of all, thank you for that. When you guys see something wrong, say something. And the same thing with the members who are watching the advanced ad-free viewings of the videos. If you see something wrong in the video, before I make it public, say something. That lemon wine video that I pushed out had one error in it where I was showing a B-roll insert of the sediment that was in the bottle of that lemon wine, and I did not mute the audio in that particular little clip. So basically, I had me speaking on the screen and me saying something in the B-roll as well. So it was kind of overlapping a little bit. So for you members who are seeing these things, bring them to my attention before I make them public. Okay, appreciate it. All right. Let's see. I think we can handle it. Let's see. Adam, do you have a preferred type of honey for your mead? Do I have a preferred type of honey? Well, I didn't used to. Basically, 100% raw honey was good enough. However, certain people who are would rather get their honey at a Epicurus, that's beekeeper to you and me, and who have empty pockets that are bottomless will buy that honey, and that's the honey that you will see me using when you see me using a big jar of honey. I will not show you the price because I'm grateful that it was given, but no, I go to Walmart. Okay, it's just right over there, about half a mile. I usually walk. Um, yeah, but it's got to be 100% raw honey. I mean, you don't want the imitation honey stuff. I mean, no, you really don't want to do that. Um, um, Wild forward orange honey. I used the orange honey in the initial, my first mead and also the orange mead. I used orange honey. Nona should throw you a party for you. Well, I know that's next year. I know I want a party when I get 10,000 subscribers. That's that's my ultimate goal for next year. Should happen hopefully around late February, Marchish. Yeah, around that time, because I'm getting on average about 620, 650 subscribers a month, which is cool. I like that. Um, but no, it doesn't have to be an elaborate party. Uh, I think some drinking should be involved. We're talking about some hard liquor. We're not talking wine, beer and wine. We're talking, where's the Jack? Where's the Johnny Walker? Where's the good? That kind of a party. Let me see. Joseph Tyler, is too much headspace during aging a concern for mead, actually for both wine and mead? Headspace at the beginning, no problem whatsoever. During that initial fermentation, the more the better, because certainly during those first 3 days, you need your yeast needs as much oxygen in the mix as possible, which is why I suggest stirring it up vigorously during at least that first 3 days to incorporate more oxygen, which kind of helps eliminate the need for having to add yeast nutrients or yeast energizers. I'm not saying it's going to work all the time. But that does bring in the question. I think, Brad, that was you that had a stuck fermentation. So I'll ask, were you stirring your I forgot if it was mead or wine early on during the first 3 days to help it along, help the yeast along a little bit? It's too late now, but that would be the question that I would have. No, I mean, until I rack it, this is fine. After I rack it, no, I'm not going to leave this much headspace, because that's when having additional oxygen is not a good thing. It's a bad thing. You want to minimize that at all cost. Okay. Yes, you do. No. Yes, you do. Uh, Good one, Michelle. Good one. Matt, keep the pairing videos up. That's a nice addition. Well, it's entirely up to No. Uh, but I am glad that I've worked out the technical issues with the new camera and all of that. My previous past with cameras is that I had a Canon 60D, and I was doing a hell of a lot of street photography. Won some awards, had some sales, had some exhibitions, so I was actually not bad. But I didn't do any video at all. That wasn't my thing. And then when I started this channel, the video was strictly limited to using the cell phone as my primary means of getting things out. Do I still have that? Yeah, I do. 1 second here. There we go. Don't need to see me. Yeah, I was using my cell phone down at the lower left. Up until late last month, when I decided to get the new camera, the Canon EOS Rebel SL3, which is all that I really needed for this channel, because it allowed me to shoot 4K video. Let me get this out. I don't want to forget to switch scene back. There we go. See, I did it. But let me get back to YouTube. Here we go. Yeah, I'm really glad that's working out well. Right. Stuck fermentation. I did a rough rack as the fruit in there was looking a bit nasty. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't show that part of the videos. Especially, well, since I use straining bags, which kind of keeps everything kind of like congealed in little packets. I don't show the that end of it. I mean, if I had like a compost pile or something like that, then yeah, that would be a nice addition. But sometimes you just gotta A, hold your nose, and B, close your eyes, because you don't want those nightmares coming at you late at night in terms of what the fruit looks like after it's given its all during that part of primary fermentation. I ought to, but I don't want to gross people out. I added more sugar and scared the yeast to death. You know, you can overwhelm your yeast with sugar. And that depends on how much yeast did you use. No, because I only use a quarter of a teaspoon. Unless I'm doing something that I know is really acidic, like the lemon wines or the citrus wines, in which case I'll play it safe and go with a half a teaspoon, but I'll never use an entire pack for a 1 gallon batch. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. H4MST 3R. Yesterday I mixed banana and orange juice along with raisins and black tea. Curious what it's going to taste like. Raisins, I'm assuming, is for flavor and not as a yeast nutrient. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying. And tea as a tannin substitute. Okay, you all see me do that all the time. Banana and orange juice. Banana and orange juice. Interesting. Let's see. I did banana papaya, banana strawberry, banana and orange juice. Interesting. The orange. Old time engineer got to go brew on. Okay, Lana, great setup, perfect quality of sound. Well, hopefully that's going to be the standard. You need to get me like a little aircraft or pilot style checklist so I can check off everything that I need to do to make sure that everything is right. But I'm glad this is working out so far. What time is it? 57. Okay, this is going to be a 1 hour only live stream. It's not really going to go over. I just wanted to make sure that really test out the new settings to make sure everything's okay. And unless there are no further questions, we can go ahead and wrap this one up. I'll give it a few seconds because there is that few second delay. Let's see. Great. Bet the banana orange ferments like furry. I'm sure it will. All right. Okay. Oh, no. I got 2 minutes. I'll give everyone their time. While I'm doing this, I have the opportunity to do this. I want to go content. Okay, I've got, 95 videos. That carrot wine will make 96. 4 more videos. Wine tasting. At least maybe 3 more videos to do. I could pull something off my content list. No, 2, because the last one is going to be a live stream. So I need to do 2 more videos in addition to the black cherry wine 12-month tasting. And then the 100th video will be the live stream at the first Saturday of the month. Back to business here. Oh, where did I come from? Well, I came right at the end. Well, I'm glad you can make it anyway. Lyra, thanks so much. You're welcome. Thank you for looking forward to the next. Okay, thank you again for dropping in. Michelle, thank you for the earlier time. Okay, well then it's beginning to sound like the midweeks will be at 3 o'clock, probably on Saturdays. We'll give the next one a shot at that time slot on that day, see how it works out. If it's more of a midweek type thing, then we can always vacillate between the two. In the next few days, I'm going to try my first racking. Okay. Brad, you will love the cured wine. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it about as much as I'm looking forward to that rhubarb that someone is suggesting that I do. But we'll see. Okay, it is now 4 o'clock, according to my clock, which I did not turn the volume down on. So with that, folks, I'm going to say thank you for all stopping by for the mid-month, midweek, midday live stream. Had some fairly decent numbers for the size of this channel, and I'll see you guys through the next one.